Depending on who you ask, Daredevil Born Again is a very polarizing topic because a lot of people, when they heard Disney was taking over this, was very concerned because this is coming in an age where Disney is just not cranking out hits,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to the MCU. Disney has struggled in recent years. A lot of people are big fans of that Netflix series. And if Daredevil Born Again failed, that would be problematic. And I think a lot of people more so got worried when She-Hulk came out and you had Charlie Cox's Daredevil in there. And Charlie Cox's Daredevil was a little bit different. He wasn't quite the Daredevil that we come to know and love in Daredevil, the Netflix series. Same goes for Kingpin when we got to see him briefly in Hawkeye. He was not the same menacing Vincent D'Onofrio. Now, I personally haven't seen Echo. He looked like he was going to get a little bit back to that. Obviously, Daredevil was also in Echo. I'm sure like they've kind of done a little bit of like character fixing in there. But still, I mean, are you worried about Daredevil Born Again? Like, or do you think that they're angling towards like the right path as we get closer?
I was concerned for a while, especially when the episode count came out that it was going to be 20 episodes. I
Yeah,
kept thinking like that's too many. Like Daredevil was
that's
8
CW.
max.
That's
Yeah,
CW
I
style.
yeah, I thought that was a little too much. But I did hear rumblings that Kevin Feige, I guess, read the script of the first episode, hated it, fired those writers, and got back different ones. And now they're going back to
Yeah.
the Netflix era Daredevil, which has me way more excited.
Well, let me address kind of like that. Obviously, Kevin Feige hating something and having that reaction to fire directors is big news. But is
Mhm.
Kevin Feige like the creative genius anymore that is able to just like wave his magic pen and just like crank out a hit anymore? Because they even made fun of it. Even if you don't like She-Hulk, there was a very meta joke where they made fun of how everything Kevin Feige's doing right now is very formulaic. And it is true. We've talked about it for years with like Marvel villains, how it just seems like every movie divulges into a CGI crap fest battle royale at the very end of things.
Mhm.
And I don't know if Kevin Feige necessarily has the pull anymore to say what's good and what's bad anymore. He
Mhm.
was great at one point when the MCU was just money. Everything they put out there was gold, but that hasn't been the case for at least a few years now. So I don't know. Like I don't know like if Kevin Feige needs to bring in different people that might actually have a better opinion, a better pulse on like what viewers want nowadays. But either way, like it was his opinion that whatever that they were putting out there was bad. The stuff I've heard about it sounds pretty bad, like killing off key characters to the Netflix series, just acting like the Netflix series didn't exist. That would have
Mhm.
been a mistake. That would have been a misstep because you already have something established. You have something that
Mhm.
people like. People have just been yearning for a continuation forever. And I know that raises some like continuity errors for the MCU, but screw it. You have this multiverse thing going on at this point. Use it. With this multiverse, you can
Yeah,
explain away
exactly.
most things, which is in some levels is bullshit. But on another level, like I think you have the ability to retroactively fit whatever narrative you need to fit. If you can't explain why Daredevil wasn't involved in the fight for New York when the Avengers first teamed up, well, that's a problem that you say, oh, that was like a different universe or something. That's why Daredevil wasn't there.
Mhm.
Or when Loki messed up the time streams and mashed all the universes together, that's why the Netflix Daredevil is now in the right MCU, right?
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they can do, but what I'm very excited for is them continuing off of Daredevil season 3. My
Yeah.
opinion, Daredevil season 3 was the best one, the best way to end the Netflix era Daredevil, and honestly, a great way to bring it back. Especially with the news that Bullseye will be returning, the original
Oh
actor
yeah.
will be returning, and Foggy and Karen, original actors, will be returning as well. So it just makes me excited, and now they could finally reference adamantium because now all the universes are all in one. So thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Like
I'm still
why like
looking
why
forward
why,
to
why even change that?
I'm still looking forward to that first meeting when Daredevil and John Favreau meet. Or actually, no, that happened in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
then
pretty much
never
happened
mind.
Spider-Man.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say because like he got to meet the OG Foggy, right? Ben
Oh yeah, the
Affleck's Foggy.
OG. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Maybe
the
we'll get
OG.
a
Dang, I forgot about that.
Foggy reunion, and they could do the Spider-Man meme, right? We got two great Foggies in the same scene. Now that we actually have like the main actor that we think of returning to the series. Hopefully, I still hope they don't do something stupid and deviate from it, but
Mhm.
they're going to try and put their original spin because it's Disney at this point, and they just want to lay claim to whatever property they have. What I would say, maybe something that give a little bit of air of positivity to this. I know a lot of people don't really like Bob Iger right now. I don't think Bob Iger was necessarily the problem with Disney. I think Bob Chapek was the guy that made a lot of the bad decisions when Disney really started, or
Mhm.
Disney products really started going downhill. Like he really doubled down on like the streaming stuff in particular, and that like
Mhm.
caused a lot of content to really. They went for more quantity rather than quality, and I
Mhm.
think that's where like the MCU went wrong. But if Bob Iger came in and like honestly did a great honest assessment of like where the MCU is to this point, then I think that this next 2-year period of the MCU is more important than the last, I guess, 4 years that we've gotten.
Yeah, for sure, because they're gonna have to rewrite a lot of the wrongs that they did. Like, well, obviously, you know that they might do that with She-Hulk by not giving it a
Yeah.
second season. No one liked it. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's another one that a lot of people were like, I was into it at first, but I couldn't finish it. And I'm one of those people. I can't finish Moon Knight. I don't know what it is about that show.
I
Um,
liked it. I
Hawkeye
mean,
was
it wasn't great,
okay.
but yeah.
Hawkeye was okay, but of course the premiere one is Loki. Loki's really good, but now they're gonna
Yeah,
have to
Loki is
change up Loki.
Yeah, Loki is the only one of the like Disney Plus shows that has just been successful from start to finish. WandaVision
Mhm.
was strong when it came in there, and I don't know if Multiverse of Madness is going to screw things up. I still need to watch this latest season of What If. What If is a very
Me
good
too.
property for them to have too,
What If is good.
because
I need to watch another one.
since it is outside of the main continuity, they could do whatever the hell they want, and I appreciate whenever they do get the live action people to come in and do the voicing. That's always great. So I will
Mhm.
give them credit for stuff like What If too. But yeah, no man, I was not into Hawkeye. I was not into the She-Hulk. I mean, I wanted, you know what, too? I wanted to be into the She-Hulk. I thought it
Me
was going to
too.
be okay, and then just the humor didn't really click with me. It just was
Mhm.
off. Like it just was honestly just really bad jokes at the end of the day. Like
Yeah, it
nothing
wasn't
else. I know
good.
it got political for a lot of people,
Mhm.
right? But it wasn't that. It was just like, does anyone actually watch it? Man, woman, whoever, and actually, honest to God, laugh at some of the jokes in there?
Yeah, see, Marissa and I were watching at one point, and I kind of saw what they were going for. Like, I saw that they
Yeah.
were going for like the Harvey Birdman type humor, but they just didn't do it right.
They
Like,
no, they
it just
didn't.
wasn't
And
good.
well, if you're gonna do that, Harvey Birdman was more like deadpan, and I didn't really get
Mhm.
that vibe from that series. Like Harvey Birdman, like let some of the jokes like sit, and
Yeah,
the awkward silences is what elevated a lot of the stuff in that show. Like I do miss Harvey Birdman. Like honestly, just a lot of good old school Adult Swim content,
yeah,
like
good old school.
Space
Mhm.
Ghost Coast to Coast. Got a Space Ghost Coast to Coast reference here in this episode, right?
Yeah,
Um, they were strong back in the day. Great stoner television, late night for Adult Swim. Uh, but no, like, yeah, the humor just wasn't right for She-Hulk, and who knows? Maybe if they got in some like different writers or something like that, maybe they
mhm.
could make a successful season two. You do kind of feel bad because at the end of the day, people are like losing their job with that series. But maybe some of those
Essentially.
people didn't deserve jobs straight up, like the writing crew. Maybe, honest to God, like they didn't deserve the writing job because they just weren't right for what the MCU needed at that point in time. And
Mhm.
we'll see like how they go about like She-Hulk because they're still doing the Thunderbolt series, right?
They're still
They're
doing
still doing
that.
that.
Last I
Yeah.
heard, Steven Yeun is out. So I wonder what's going
Yeah.
on with that.
Well, I know they're trying to cast like the guy from Oppenheimer, one of the guys from Oppenheimer. He was like one of the army base guys that
Mhm,
was kind of keeping tracks on Oppenheimer. I don't remember the actor's name at all.
mhm.
So that might be just something to monitor. But if they're doing Thunderbolts, then obviously we will see She-Hulk come back at some point. And the fact that they set up so many things in She-Hulk, they'll have to address it too. Like they gave Hulk a son. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I know I said it after I said what I said, but they gave Hulk a son. We have now Harrison Ford. He's supposed to play essentially Red Hulk at soon because he's not yet Red Hulk, but the character will eventually turn into Red Hulk. So we'll
Mhm.
have to see that. So we're gonna get a lot of Hulk content. I know we're deviating. We're supposed to be here talking about Daredevil, right? But it's just like with the MCU, you could go in so many different paths. Obviously, um, back to Daredevil, though. I guess I would just say I am looking forward to this. If it is truly a season 4 to the Netflix series,
Mhm.
um, I hope that they kind of keep that same edge because it
Me
did seem
too.
like, and again, I haven't watched Echo. I watched the trailer for Echo, and it did seem like it had that strong rated R kind of feel, like they were just straight up shooting dudes in the trailer. So I
The
hope that we
first
kind of
episode,
get
yeah.
that. Yeah. So I hope that we get that same type of energy from this Daredevil series because I mean, if you look at the Netflix series, they're just killing dudes left and right. Bullseye just didn't
Mhm.
give a shit. And then when you get into, I think this was part of Daredevil, not Punisher, but right, the prison sequence that was in Daredevil, right?
Yes, that was in Daredevil, dude. That sequence, oh my god, they have to bring back sequences like that too, like the
Well, I heard
Wonders.
that
Oh
Joe
my god,
Barenthal's Punisher will be back, and I think he might make an appearance in Daredevil Born Again too. So that would be
yes, I
huge.
did. I did hear that one. So like you said that you hope that that they bring back the Edge. I really hope they bring it back for Punisher because Joe
Mm,
Bernthal's Punisher was great. I loved the show. I loved both seasons of the Punisher. I thought he did phenomenal. And the storylines for both seasons were awesome. So I really hope they keep that edge.
yeah, I wonder if they're going to adapt any other of the live action stuff. Like, if this is successful, will they also bring back some of the other Netflix people, right? Like Jessica
Mhm.
Jones or well, obviously, probably not bringing back Iron Fist, right? But Luke Cage, they probably bring back Luke Cage.
Even
Um,
honestly, even if they brought back Iron Fist, that wouldn't be a bad idea because you have Shang-Chi. That'd be a good team up.
yeah, it
That'd be a
would
really
be
good team up.
interesting to see if they address it and would they address how like their universes collide in a way. They did set up a lot of Iron Fist stuff with the Shang-Chi like movie, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. And then there's also Colleen Wing too at the end of
Yeah.
Iron Fist season 2. Could bring her back. She was really badass
Oh,
too.
wasn't that there an issue with that? Isn't there an issue with that too? Like they have like the same actor playing like different roles because there I think there was like yeah, one of the actors in the Netflix series also is now an actor in the MCU series in a different capacity.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so like they'll probably have to fix something like that. You know, I think there's a lot of pressure with this Daredevil series, a lot of pressure to get it right, because again, the MCU just needs a win. they need
Yeah, they
they need
do.
a big time win because even though it's not like they've had unsuccessful movies recently, because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was amazing, but you
Yeah.
also realize that that was James Gunn's last movie with the MCU.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man was amazing too, but like we might not see a Spider-Man 4 for a while. So
For a long
that's
time,
kind
yeah.
of like an issue with like that as well. Uh, whether it's Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, or Andrew Garfield, it doesn't feel like we're gonna get another Spider-Man for a bit. So like even their wins like kind of get lost in all the shuffle of bad.
Mhm.
Gosh, I haven't even watched the last two. That's part of the problem too, right? Like this Daredevil series is going to be like the first property in a while that I feel like I have to watch it as soon as it drops. Most of
Me
the other
too.
like
Yeah.
stuff, it just doesn't feel like there's that same level of um appointment viewing.
Yeah, no, the last one was just Loki. Loki, I was like, yeah, I have to watch Loki. Other than
Yeah, I gotta
that,
watch that the night it premieres. Gotta make sure that I'm up to date on it because I don't want to get spoilers. Yeah, that was good.
other than that, yeah, it's not good.
All right, guys. Well, hey, like a lot of reporting about what this new Daredevil series is, what it isn't. Where's your level of excitement? Are you concerned still? Like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all our social medias. We'll see you next time.